often. Otherwise, you will have to go through number of videos. I will have no problem. Is my video visible to you? Am I visible to you?
internet.
Okay. So, in one of the beads, a fly was caught up. Then there were two fine needles which were caught up. Then there was a ferny moth in the bead. So all these were there. Now one bead has two fine needles lying across each other. In another, there was a tiny, beautiful corn cup. So now there was a corn. A corn is a fruit of one of the plants found in the hilly regions. So all these things got trapped inside the bead. Okay, a bee was locked in another bead, which looked like frozen honey. Now there was a honey bee also in one of the beads, and all got trapped, and all were there, and it looked very attractive. Now some beads had golden beetles in them. Now there were. Have you seen a beetle? Now, one of them, some of the beads had beetles in them. So obviously, all the creatures, all the insects which got attracted to the plant, only those got embedded. Or by the wind, when a small fern maybe flew from one place to another, it must have got stuck to the sticky liquid which was oozing out of a tree, and gradually it got stern and it got embedded and hardened and thick, got thick, and it was there. Okay. Now the beads were all so beautiful that Jenny spent a lot of time just admiring them. Now, since each bead of the necklace was very attractive and had something embedded inside it, maybe a small portion of a fern, maybe a small needle, maybe a fly, maybe a beetle, maybe a corn, all these things. She got so attracted that she spent most of the time looking at it, admiring it. Okay. Now, how do you think did little Scott Jenny come into possession of such a treasure? Now they are asking you, do you really think how this must have happened? How Jenny got this lovely thing, which was millions of years back, must have happened all this. How did Jenny got hold of this, and that too in a form of a necklace? So let us see. Her grandfather, Kenneth, please underline the name, Kenneth, got them years back when he was a young lad. So now the story is in flashback. Let us see. This narrator is telling us, and the narrator is Jane Andrews. She's telling that Jenny got this from her grandfather, who, grandfather Kenneth, when he was a young lad, when he was a young man, he had found it. He had got the beads from the wreck of a ship, Goshawk. Now the name of the ship was Goshawk, and it was a wreck. What is the wreck? The ship had broken down, okay, and which had stuck in the sea waters near his island. So he had gone looking for what he could save from the wreck. There, among the slippery seaweeds, he had accidentally stepped on this piece of amber. So now this Kenneth, the grandfather, had gone to see the shipwreck. Okay, the shipwreck, the broken ship, he had gone to see if he could do something about it and could find anything of use. So while he was looking for place near to the shore, next to the sea level, next to the place where the coast was, he happened to found a slippery thing and he stepped on it. So it was then when he slipped and he found that this amber lump was found. Can you see the man in the picture on page 36? He's holding on to some lump of something, big, huge lump. Now, there among the slippery seaweeds, he had accidentally stepped on this piece of amber. It was a clear, shining lump, and all the creatures had been embedded in it. So, all the creatures in that big, huge lump were embedded. They were stuck and they were all covered from all sides. So, now what did he do? Kenneth had carved out the beads himself and had given them to his wife as a wedding gift. Now, the grandmother got it from grandfather as a wedding gift when, from that big, huge lump, grandfather had carved out small, small pieces of the lump and taken it out for his use. Okay? So, in this way, he got that necklace. she got that necklace. Okay, she got it from her grandmother on her 12th birthday, and grandmother had got this from Kenneth, that means his husband, grandfather of Jenny's, on as a wedding gift. Is this much clear to each one of you? Now, he had
Yes.
worked very carefully to save the embedded insects or weed in each piece. Now, while he was carving out the weeds, he was very careful not to harm, not to cut out any of the creatures which were there. So he was very carefully carving them out, cutting them into oval shapes with the creatures inside them, secured and safely managed. Okay, so how his young wife had loved it. Now, grandmother loved it when Kenneth had given him, grandfather had given him. She had worn it for many years and then had left it for her granddaughter Jenny. When she died last year, she had said, Let little Jenny have my amber beads and keep them as long as she lives. So it was then that she was given. Jenny got it from her grandmother when she had died last year. Okay, so on her 12th birthday, she had got, and grandmother had died a year before. Okay, but what puzzled Jenny was how the amber came to be on the seashore, and most of all, how the bees and mosses were frozen inside it. So she looked it up in a book. Now she knew everything, that grandfather, how he got it and everything, but she was worried. She was very curious to know how these insects got trapped inside it. And for that, he consulted a book. Now, Jenny read that long before any humans appeared on Earth, the Scottish Highlands were covered with forests. There were oaks, poplars, beeches, and pines. Among them was one kind of pine, tall and stately, from which a shining yellow gum flowed out. This beautiful yellow gum was fragrant. Now, she read out in a book that once, before millions of years ago, this whole Scottish land, which was now a hilly area, was once a plain, flat land and was covered with forest. Okay, and there were various wild trees growing here, like oak, poplars, beeches, and pines. And one among them was a big, stately variety of a pine tree, which had this coming out, yellow gum flowing out of it. Clear, the yellow liquid, thick liquid flowing out of it. Now, thousands of little insects fluttered about it in the warm sunshine. They were attracted by its pleasant smell and also by its taste. Once they alighted upon it, they stuck to it fast and could not get away. The great yellow drops oozing out surrounded and at last covered them entirely. Wind blown bits of moss, leaves, acorns, cones, and little sticks too were soon stuck in the fast flowing gum. As time went by, the gum hardened more and more and became amber.
I'm unable to hear you.
Is the call okay now? Or please open your mic and tell me, is my voice
Yes,
clear?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Your video is now moving and voice is also clear.
Thank you. So, thousands of years ago, when this area was a flat surface land with trees growing, so this stately pine tree had attractive golden color glue coming out of it, gum coming out of it. Now, these various insects, they got attracted by the smell and the taste. And as soon as they alienated, as soon as they sat on it, they got stuck, and then more and more liquid oozed out from the tree, and they got embedded inside it. They got stuck inside it. They could not move. And when the wind blew, what happened when the wind blew? The ferns and the mosses, they got stuck to that liquid. And then again, as the liquid was oozing out, those also got embedded. So these things in the beads which you see with Jenny were basically done over thousands and millions of years before. Now, because of the, you must have seen, you must have heard in your geography class that Earth kept on having these ice ages. That means there was pralay, there was a turmoil, and the earth, inside the oceans, the land came up. These mountains are because of the tectonic movements of the plates, the inside movement of the earth, which had given rise to a volcano, to an earthquake. From inside the earth, the things have risen. So that gradually rose, and that is why somehow the land which was embedded in the sea once came up, and through that, the amber must have come to the seashore. Okay, is this much clear? Because of the storm, the sea must have got a little stormy, and the amber, which was embedded deep inside the sea, got a chance to come up to the seashore. Did you get this much clear? In those very old times, the land sometimes sank down into the sea so deep that the water covered the very mountain tops. Then, after several centuries, the land slowly lifted up again to sink perhaps yet again. So now they are telling you that over the millions of years, there were a number of ups and downs. The land where once there was forest here in the Scottish area sank down inside the sea. Then, with the turmoil and storm, it again raised up, and gradually it took years and years, millions of years, and then gradually the amber was recovered by Kenneth. Okay, and you can see that it he went for a shipwreck. He went to see the shipwreck. That means the ship must have wrecked because of the storm, and that storm must have brought the amber to the shore. Okay, the great forests of the north of Scotland, the oak, the poplars, and the amber pines sank into the deep sea. There, lying at the bottom of the ocean, the wood and the gum hardened like stone. Only the great storm could disturb them as they lay half buried in the sand. So only a big storm could have made this possible, that the amber must have come back to the shore again. And this could have happened in the Scotland where the pine trees must have gone embedded. Then with the storm, they must have helped the amber to flow out and reach the seashore, from where Kenneth, the grandfather, must have took it up and must have given as a wedding gift to her wife, grandmother. And from grandmother, on her 12th birthday, Jenny received it as a gift, which she possessed as a treasure. Is this much clear? It was one of those storms that had brought the lump of amber closer to the shore, where Jenny's grandfather found it. When he gave the necklace to his wife, he did not know that he was giving her a little piece of nature, and that his granddaughter would wear it one day. Jenny realized that if we could only walk on the bottom of the sea, what treasure we might find. So it was then that Jenny realized that maybe if you go to the bottom of the sea, you might find more treasure. And this gave her a surprise, and this gave her a probability that the amber which she had found was really precious, was really worth possessing. Is the story clear to each one of you? Akashi, please stop the recording.